In this video, we're making a perfect replica of the Playful Cloud, a weapon so strong you'd have to be insane to use it.
Filthy monkey.
They ask how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
Bro, it's so crazy how he just be saying that shit in the show. Fucking monkey. Like, oh my god. Anyways, let's play the intro. Okay, now it's time we do some debriefing on what this tool is. The Playful Cloud is a special grade curse tool. And if you don't know what special grade is, there's 5 different grades going all the way from 4th to special, special being the top. Now what makes the Playful Cloud a special grade tool, I really don't fucking know. I'm gonna just say durability because there is no cursed energy in the weapon, which is the power system of the show. Don't get me wrong, we've seen instances where there has been cursed energy implemented on the tool, but the tool itself has no cursed energy, which makes it such an easy project to mimic in the real world. We can just use metal. I got this bar I got from my mom's house. This is straight steel. Real heavy stuff right here. All right, so first I'm gonna start by measuring this piece. Now the first thing we have to do is check the length and girth on this pole. Right now we're at 4 feet 7 inches exactly. Now that is a good length. Here I'm making 3 separate marks, so we have 3 different sections for our 3-section staff. Now that's 3 threes. Now in all of our videos, I've been using a grinder to cut up our metal for Sokka's boomerang or Gurren Lagann's knife that I made. But for this, we're going with this tool. 1 second. This tool is going to give us a more straight cut. It's called a bandsaw. It has a blade that rotates around these 2 wheels, and that's what's going to give us a clean straight cut down the middle of this pipe. It's really made for cutting pipes. No diddy. It's time to cut this thing up. We now have all 3 sections of the staff, but it's time that we put in the chain. And because our original steel tooling was hollow, we're gonna have to make some connector pieces. The chain is going to stick out of here, and then this piece is gonna be stuck onto here. But we need to cut it in circles, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna trace that shape onto here, straight like this. And we need 6 pieces because there's 3 pieces, each side has 2 holes. In order to get what we traced into our desired shape, we're gonna have to cut it up into square pieces. That will give us some room to play with. Yeah! All right, now that we have all these pieces and we have the chain, I'm thinking that we go like, I don't know, 1/3 of the way down of this link and have that sticking up right here. So that way I can weld it at the top and the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace the link so that way I can have the same measurement for each link. I traced it and I have this line in between it so that way I know where to cut and where to mark on each piece of the chain. And I'm gonna do that for every 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the next one that needs to be cut. All right, so we have each chain piece with the cutoff pieces as well to hook into. And there is 4 of these. To start putting everything together, I started marking around where I need to drill holes at. To drill these 2 holes with the right size drill bit that fits this. So that way we could weld both sides, both this bottom side and this top side, and that will keep everything together. The only other part that I'm worried about and think I might have to weld is this part right here, because all the tension that's there, this might split open this C-clip and it might go flying somewhere.
Oh, try me, bitch.
We don't want that, so we're probably gonna have to do a little bit of welding, and we're definitely gonna have to clean these parts because I have a TIG welder, so it needs to be clean for it to weld. Then I got this drill bit right here, and then this is just a little bit bigger than the hook piece that we need. And it fits perfectly into each one of these little holes. I'm gonna use what we call a center tap to tap these holes, and then start drilling them in. So this is what we accomplished on the first day. We got the holes built out ready for it tomorrow. We're going to weld it up. We got the hooks These need to be welded on as well, but they're in there. So those will sit right here and hook up onto that, And by tomorrow we'll have that, we'll have it painted, and we'll start the designing on the end pieces that are here, 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 here. And then we got the designs for the purple. And then after that, a clear coat and we'll be done. So I think this should only take around 2 more to 3 more days. Hey guys, welcome back. It's day 2. We're gonna start cleaning up our metal today. As you see over here, it's a little bit rusty. There's also a little bit of bumps on it. We're gonna get those bumps off with the wire wheel. And then we're gonna weld everything up and get the assembly done. All right, so these are the parts from yesterday. I gotta clean up the bottom so that way they weld onto the parts we just cleaned. I'm also gonna clean up here because if you look, there is some type of plastic or some type of covering on top. And I'm gonna just start tacking in, making it so these pieces can't move, so these stay in where they're supposed to be. All right, guys, so that's the end of day 2. Remember how I said I was getting everything painted and doing all types of other shit? I fucking lied. I'm not doing that shit. It's cold in here. It's like 11 o'clock, 11:11. I'm going home, do some push-ups, and go to sleep. Got to get Ak and go to sleep because I have to get up for work tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Welcome back, day 3. I didn't comb my hair today, and I got on some fake Crocs. They're dirty. And my station is a mess. And it kind of looks like I do other things in building weapons inside of my garage.
I smoke rocks.
Let's get to building. All right, so I got some updates. Yesterday we welded these up. We need to start grinding it down to make everything look a little bit more uniform. I did one of them yesterday off camera. So like if you see the rest of these are like pretty ugly looking. But if you look at this one, it's like cleaned up a bit. So we need to start doing that. And then the back, if you look there in the back, there's still like extra metal. We're gonna have to use a Dremel wheel or some type of like little tool that can get in there and clean that off. I don't have that right now, so I'm gonna need to buy something. And yeah, so we're gonna just clean up everything and get it ready to put it together. So I'm gonna use this vice grip to put everything together. My welder is portable, it doesn't have a tank with it. It's called a welder. I forgot what it's called actually. Yeah, so basically I'm gonna take the clip, place it up here, and then right in the bottom of there, I'm gonna put a bead, like a real thin, boom, 1, 2. It's called a tack, where you just like stick it on there just so it's good enough to stick up there. Pause. And then I'm gonna turn it around and then I'm gonna finish it up and do the whole actual bead to make sure it's really on there. And then I'm gonna just do that for both sides. And that is how we are going to attach everything. Using the bench grinder, we could take all 4 corners and shape them down into the circle we need. I just keep turning it at an even pace while it turns more into a circle. So I got some bad news. While I was welding, it stopped working. It's probably because we're out of wire. However, there is some good news. This is the video, so I could just skip to when I have more. I learned from my last time and cut the corners down into 8 little sections, so that way I don't have too much to grind. All right, so I got everything grinded down to these circle bits, and now I'm about to finally attach them. We'll finally have the gray staff. Almost looks like Bonds from 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
And now for steel nunchucks. The fuck? Can we get a slow-mo? That's what Bruce Lee was using.
Bruce Lee crack his skull.
Now I turn these nunchucks into a 3-section staff by adding in the last section. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I didn't want to hit my head with this, so I'm just kind of messing around trying to figure out how it works, how it swings. I didn't want CTE. And I see why Toji's strong ass uses this, because it's remarkably heavy. So I give it a few more test swings just to make sure it wasn't coming apart. As you can see, it swings pretty well. I was pretty happy with the result. Now, if we go back to our reference photo, we now have the chains and the bars, but now we need the colors. So I strapped up the 3-section staff on my bondage swing and painted it with red spray paint. Since I had to wait for the paint to dry, I ended up making these decorative end caps on the computer. To make the process of putting them on easy, I made them so they 3D printed in 2 halves, and that way they can be fit together like a puzzle. 2 hours of waiting just for me to come back and find Z shift. That means my printer needs to be calibrated, but hey man, I knew that already. But for the part that came out nice, it came out nice. The last detail to make this perfect to the anime is the purple swirl that goes around the red handle. This here made me so angry. For that purple swirl design, I came up with this like shape that's just going up, and I put it on a certain amount of degrees. That was completely arbitrary. I'm just hoping that it fits, but I made it around 7 inches so that way we have some play and we can move it around and see exactly where we want to position it. So here are the updates on what we got. This piece finally printed and it fits on, so we're going to print this in a different material called ABS. This is PLA, which stands for polylactic acid. ABS is a stronger material. It's a little harder to print, so I definitely messed with some settings in the software. And ABS stands for African Booty Scratcher. Remember how I said African Booty Scratcher is a harder material to print? Well, look what it did to my printer. This is all waste plastic from failed prints. Ridiculous. But don't worry, I did do some maintenance on my system and recalibrated everything. As you could see, that piece of paper that I also printed, I just taped it on there to make sure it fits. This middle section will be cut out, and I'm going to use vinyl, and I'm going to put tape in the middle, that way I can spray it on there and we'll have our design. But now I'm cutting out all the design templates for the piece of paper I printed out. But I did need to do a lot of them, so I just used a shadow clone jutsu. So thanks to my massive chakra reserves, I was able to cut them all out at once. Now I just have to tape them up, strap them on, so that way they can be painted. So it's the middle of the night. I got everything taped up. I'm about to start spraying that purple. Got it hanging. It's all purple. Looks like Donatello's staff if he had a 3-section staff. Alright, so I got my purple piece of shit. It was out in the rain, so hopefully it's not messed up too bad. If it's messed up, I'll just redo it. It is what it is. Are you guys ready for the reveal? Yeah, it looks like shit. We're going to have to re-strip this down and redo it from the bottom to the top. And that's precisely what I did. I first started by stripping off the paint. Then I retaped everything back up, put another coat of red on it, and restarted. But this time, I'm using vinyl. I came up with the design, so all I have to do is...
Cut.
The first method I tried to get the vinyl to stick was a regular heat press, but that made it pop up immediately as soon as I took off the tape. So I'm going to glue it down, but I need to get the rest of the vinyl. Alright, if you notice, I got tape on each 6 sections so that way I could put it on while I glue it. This is a mix of brilliance and desperation. As you guys can see, it's actually dark as shit outside. And I'm going to just use some of the spray. What the fuck? Ew. That's actually really gross. I don't know how well this is going to go anymore. And this is why I said the purple stripe got me mad, because I ended up restripping it and painting it again. So basically what I did was secure one end with tape and then put some glue on the end of the purple so that way it sticks on where it's supposed to be. And because I spent so much time on it, I put some clear coat on it so that way I don't damage the purple stripes too much when I'm hitting objects with it. Remember, we said durability is what we're going for. I did go ahead and 3D print the rest of these end knobs, and I put them on using the same glue I used for the purple stripes. I clamped them down and just let them dry for a few hours. And trust me, they're not going anywhere. Now it's time to get into the details and fill in any of these cracks that are inside the 3D print, so that way it's a smooth finish. A few days later, a Gorilla wood glue filler came in from Amazon, and this is my first time using it. And for some reason, this stuff was just so hard to come out the tube. Like, I was really struggling here for a few minutes. Look at my arms really trying to press this stuff out. But eventually I did do it, and I just ended up lathering any of the cracks, just filling them in as much as possible and letting it dry for the next few days. And I tried a few different ways to sand it. I started off with the Dremel wheel. It just didn't get in every nook and cranny that I needed it to. So I went in with sandpaper to kind of get in where I couldn't get with the Dremel. But even that was extremely time consuming. So I switched over to an alcohol wipe, which ended up doing the best, which just cleaned out everything and got it ready. This next piece of detail work just made it so I can swing it better, and I cleaned up all the weld spots that I said that were high spots, which was honestly great because it made it look not so rough and look like it was made inside of a garage. By the time I was done though, I did look like a stripper with all this glitter on my arm, and that probably wasn't good. So next time I'll make sure to wear some protection. So next I wrapped up this staff in aluminum foil so I can paint the chain and the handles black. And now that that was done, it was time to do some unwrapping. Oh yeah, boy! Where the nearest fish nigga at? This poor fish had no chance. You better hide your girlfriend, nigga, cause I'm coming. Oh! Got this watermelon. I left it in the shop for a few days. All my coworkers were like, yo, bro, split that watermelon open. Split that. Bro, this thing's been in my house for like 4 or 5 weeks. But I'm gonna test out the weapon on Mr. Melon. It kind of looks like a Suika from Dr. Stone.
Oh, it's Suika. What are you doing?
You fucking suck. Tell me how I just did mad tests with it and my camera just stopped recording halfway through, bro. I'm pissed. You know how long I've been waiting for that watermelon? We ain't gonna waste it though. I'm gonna throw it in the compost. It's okay though, because I did do some more swinging tests after. I didn't do as much as I did before because let me just show you why. And there was also this time. And a reminder for how heavy it is. Yeah, both those times hurt. So forgive me for not swinging it at full force like I was before. So let's just say I'm not going to be swinging this thing like Toji anytime soon. But maybe with some practice, I might be able to have it posted in my shorts where I'll be able to swing it. Because right now, it's not looking too good. But if I'm being honest, I am quite happy with the way the project came out. It was a really fun build. It took way longer than I expected. But hey, look, I mean, I look just like Toji, man. I'm him. And I'm in the process of building Fire Fist 8s from One Piece, so that is going to be awesome. Check that out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. A lot of work went into this video. Check me out. Peace, y'all.